over £1 billion now spent. They keep buying players they don't necessarily need. Mm-hmm. They do need a number 9. They've not got one. They've had their fair share of injuries. They don't know their best starting 11.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching Chelsea at the minute and they're just a little bit... I mean, it's going to take a bit of time. I think that's what you have to put it down to. It will take a bit of time because they've signed that many players. Pochettino has been renowned for building teams. I think now Chelsea are going to have to change it.
Is he renowned? Spurs didn't build PSG.
No, but PSG didn't need building. Yeah. But look what he did at Southampton. That's what got him to that Spurs job.
Yeah, fair play.
So I think you give him this season to do what he wants to do with this squad. Get out there. I know it's going to sound bonkers. Get the players out he wants and get the players in because he looks like he's been given a whole load of players. But that number 9 is an issue. But as I said, I think Jackson will come good.
What's come good?
Like
20 season plus?
I think he'll be up there. But you look at...
Do you really?
You look at their injury list right at the minute. So you've got Brozier. I think I like him. Good player. He's a proper centre forward.
Right,
I like him. Chukwuemeka. Looked really good, didn't he? No, look good.
No, yeah, but we're not talking about players they've gone all out for.
No, but Chukwuemeka was looking decent. He scored a great goal before he got injured.
I know. Listen, when he was, I think it was at Aston Villa, and big things. So I get all that, but what I'm saying is, he's not like you. I've paid 120 million for him and he's injured.
Okay, Reece James.
100%, incredibly important to them.
Fofana, who'd have paid 80 million for.
Yeah.
Nkunku. There's the problem there. Christopher Nkunku. They paid a lot of money for him. Out. Lavia. Out. So they've still got a lot of players that are injured, but when Nkunku comes back, I think he will make a big difference. But they need to start winning games because at the minute, from week to week, there were times with Chelsea you'd go, they're going to beat them, they're going to beat them. Now I literally have no idea what's going to happen from game to game.
Let me ask you this. Is it impossible for Pochettino to be sacked this season?
It's not impossible. Nothing's impossible, but I'd like them to give him the season because you've got to give him an opportunity. No one can come in and make this group of players work straight away. What's
minimum requirement for Chelsea this season?
Minimum? Back in some form of Europe.
What, 6th?
Maybe. Which is bonkers for that football club.
£1 billion and that's going to be okay?
Well, it has to be. It's not winning the league. Even though, listen, I get it. They're Chelsea and their history tells you that they should be competing for minimum top 4, but they should be going for the league every year. That's just the way Chelsea are. Or win something. They're miles away from that in a minute.
Let's take calls. We're going to take calls on the back of this from 6, but we've got time for one now. 03717 22 344. Chelsea fans, get dialing. That's the number Dan has dialed. Hi, Dan.
Hi, gents. Thanks for having me on.
Our pleasure. Thanks for listening. Thanks for phoning. Off you go. How you feeling as a Chelsea fan at the moment?
If I'm honest, I think we are where I expect us to be. I mean, I know we've spent a ridiculous amount of money in football terms, but then football money, is ridiculous in general. But, we've gone with a project of buying £1 billion worth of kids, in effect. I know some of them have big reputations like Enzo and players like that. But, to go from relegation form last season to be expected to be winning, every game this season, I think sort of a real stretch.
What should be the minimum requirement then this year, do you think?
For me, I mean, build a team that's got a bit of identity because for the last sort of, 12 months, maybe a little bit longer, towards the end of the Tuchel period, I mean, there's been God knows how many different sort of positions of players, different formations. We struggle massively against teams that sit deep because whether it's rightly or wrongly in our recruitment, but there's certain positions where you sort of say we lack, vision or, a bit of cohesion. I mean, I don't think we've signed any bad players recently, been spent, but to expect them to come in at sort of 18 to 21 years of age under another new manager, instantly hit the ground running. I mean, it's not like the Roman days where we were buying ready-made stars. We had an issue. It was on a 2-year plan. You go and fetch sort of Cesc Fabregas. You go and fetch Diego Costa, who was, in brilliant form at that time. These are completely different sort of set of players for a different structure. If they plan on building for 10 years, then okay. But people have to, in my opinion, expect that you're not going to be anywhere near the Chelsea that we've known for the last 2 decades instantly.
But what? Sorry, Ben. I was going to say, why? I like Cole Palmer. He's a bit of an unknown commodity at the moment. But why are you buying a player like that when you're desperate for a centre forward?
I must admit, I don't know. I mean, Nkunku is a massive miss because he does look to have a bit more of a predator instinct. But in reality, what centre forwards out there, bar probably Ivan Toney, as you guys mentioned earlier, I know he's banned, But what are out there that you can go and buy unless you're going to go for a Harry Kane that Tottenham would never sell for us?
And Dan, you wouldn't have had Lukaku back.
Me personally, no. I think with the fans, we had to the old interview and everything, and that kind of created a problem in the squad, I would imagine, in the way everyone acted at that exact time. So I wouldn't have had him back. But, on top-class centre-forwards, there's not many about.
Ollie Watkins?
And if you're looking for players of sort of 20... Say again, sorry?
I was just saying Ollie Watkins. I mean, you need a goal scorer. You haven't got one. I just find it nuts.
Yeah, no, I agree that, that is definitely a problem. It's been a problem for probably 3 or 4 years. It's not something that's new, which I can understand why people look at and go, why hasn't it been addressed? But sort of... If you're looking for somebody that's going to fire 30 plus a season, they are very limited.
100%.
Yeah, no, I hear
Dan's 100% right.
Thanks,
When everyone's looking for a centre forward,
but they haven't got one.
I just don't think we've bought right. Like we've bought Sanchez, who, let's be honest, he doesn't seem like a elite goalkeeper. He flops and flaps at every cross. And then we just don't even have a striker. And with all our injuries, I think it's just going to make our team a lot weaker, really.
Do you know what, Jordan? Let me ask you a question, because you're right. You speak about the goalkeeper and the goal against Forest that Elanga scores. I think it went in a little bit too easy from that distance. Like when I saw the goal, it wasn't like Elanga blasted it and I thought, what a finish. He almost rolled it into the corner and I thought, keeper couldn't have done better with that.
I just think he's not... When Czech was in goal for us, you felt safe. If a ball came towards him, there's a good chance he's going to get it. But the Sanchez, he just doesn't seem that he's confident enough, and the defenders don't have the trust with him either.
Yeah, but you are comparing your goalkeeper to possibly your greatest ever goalkeeper.
But then that's the problem. We haven't had that decent goalkeeper since. Kepa, he was the same. He just used to flap at crosses, and he would not make you feel secure enough.
Jordan, let me ask you a question. Would you have Mendy and Kepa back over Sanchez?
I'll have Mendy back, definitely.
Well, okay.
Where do you think you finish this season?
I'm hoping about 8th, but it all depends on our injuries, really. If we can get some of our main players back, then maybe 8th, but I just don't think that we've just got the squad at the moment to compete where you have teams like Brighton.
You haven't got the squad. You've spent £1 billion. How can you not have the squad?
Because we didn't buy the right players.
So you need to spend more money?
I think we could have easily got some better deals. Like Maddison, for about 45 million, was an absolute steal for Tottenham.
Yeah, where would you put him?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. But then I hope we wouldn't have bought so many Brazilians, really.
Okay, I don't think it's the nationality of the players.
When you're on in, you look at their transfer windows. I mean, you're talking about starting the 22-23 season, Enzo Fernandez, Fofana, Mudryk. These guys are all like 70 million euros up. Cucurella, Sterling, Badashiels, who looked all right, Koulibaly, Noni Madueku, that Gusto, Chukwuemeka. Then you move to the next window and you've got like Caicedo, Lavia, and Nkunku, Cole Palmer, Diazy, Jackson. I mean, Robert Sanchez. There's so many players that they've just bought. You just think, how's it ever going to work?
It's nuts. And I know that Chelsea are saying they've found a loophole. They're putting them on 8-year deals. I just think that is going to kill the club. Now, have Chelsea not wondered why no other club has followed suit with that? There must be a reason, right?
It's crazy. To buy that many players in bulk is...
Nuts. Ali's a Chelsea fan. Hi, Ali.
Hello, boys. You okay?
We're great, thank you. Today, how are you?
Not bad. Just driving home from work.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
I'm a doctor.
Okay.
So
In what?
Driving back from the hospital.
Doctor in what?
In radiology.
Okay. Usually I'd ask the next question, but I had no idea what you're talking about.
Is that when you have scans and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have an X-ray, you have a CT or an MRI.
Yeah.
The person who looks at the images and tells you what's wrong with you.
Ali, what's the weirdest thing you've seen in someone's body?
Oh, you don't want to know what people have put orifices that shouldn't be mentioned.
You don't know. Just say the item, like air freshener.
No, bigger.
Oh, wow.
Couch. Bigger than an air freshener.
No, it was like, I don't know what it was. It was like, it wasn't, like a shower bottle.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it was a bit like that.
Take head and showers. Where is it? Head and shoulders. Anyway, we'll move.
Honestly.
My producer's having kittens in case you mentioned his name. Right, go on. What would you like to say?
So I just want to talk about the Chelsea project in general. I think with bringing that many players in, it's a bit of a pump and dump scheme that they're doing, I feel. Getting the value, the Brazilian players that the previous caller mentioned, bringing them in for a smaller fee and then selling them on and using that revenue to build on something. But it doesn't necessarily correlate to what's happening on the pitch. So obviously a lot of the big boys that we did bring in, Nkunku especially, he would have brought so much to our attack. And I genuinely think Nicholas Jackson is going to be one of the steals of the season. From what I've seen of him, I know he had that, glaring miss over the weekend, but generally watching him play and his link up with Enzo in midfield, it's gonna like score goals everywhere. But the problem with us as Chelsea fans in general is that a lot of us are suffering from PTSD when it comes to strikers. The amount that we've had come in and then fail, miserably, the list goes on. I'm sure you guys know better than I do. But if we forget about the history, about what's happened with it and the current project, I see a lot of talent on the pitch that hasn't had time to gel yet. Pochettino is the right guy, I feel, to help bring them together. And it's about playing football at the end of the day. And they're not really playing football. It's like getting 11 random guys, putting them against a team who's played consistently with each other for a couple of seasons, know how they like the pass, where they want to go, how they want to run. Once we start seeing a lot of it and the injured people coming back, I do feel something is coming. But I wouldn't expect much this season. I want to see improvement from last season, and that's just the general play. From the end of last season, nobody was running. Nobody cared that enough about the ball. Now we've got the big boys like Sterling stepping up, actually putting in performances. And once the team has a more regular 11 and the injuries have come back, I want to just see a bit more.
Okay, where will you finish, Ali? Where will you finish? What number?
Beginning of the season, I was hoping for a top 4, and to be honest, I still am. Okay. I still think if we could get a good run of games together, use this international break properly, and maybe we have something there.
Okay, you think top 4? I can't see it in a million years. Thanks, Ali. I can't see it in a million years.
Not this season, no, but next season. But again, it depends. Patience, doesn't it? If they continue like they did last season, how long will they stick with Poch? I'm talking about supporters and the club.
Who finish higher, Man United or Chelsea? Honestly, don't say Chelsea because I'm a United fan. Who do you honestly believe?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Chelsea. No, I think Man United.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.